Hello and welcome to this edition of Model Yacht Racing UK. In this edition we are going to have a look at HMS, or Heat Management System. I've optimistically titled this video A Simple Explanation. Unfortunately, whilst the system is excellent and very effective, it's very difficult to explain. The HMS system is used where a model yacht racing fleet is so large it no longer becomes practical to race as a single fleet. Unlike in larger boats where the helm and crew are aboard their boat, in model yachting visibility becomes more and more difficult for helm and the race committee as a fleet grows in size. This generally doesn't become an issue at club level, but at regional level and above, race fleets tend to be larger, and then the HMS system has to be invoked. I'd just like to show an example here of why we use a heat system in large fleet racing. Here we're watching a DF95 Traveller event at Fleetwood, and you can see the start line. It goes virtually from one side of the lake to the other, and there are 24 boats on this start line, and it's quite clear that the helms at the bottom of the picture can see very little of their own boats if they're starting from the middle towards the far side of the start line. You've also got the problem that the race officer struggles to identify boats in larger fleets. As you can see at the far side, 184 has gone into irons. Well, the helmsman probably isn't even aware that that's happened until it's too late and the boat has stopped. I'm going to try and explain the HMS system with a pack of dominoes and a virtual regatta. In our regatta we've got 45 entries, okay, 45 boats, and what we do is we split them into three. So there's 3 fleets of 15 boats each. So what will happen is each of these fleets will sail a heat one after another. So it will be 3 heats, and that will equal 1 race. The heats are always sailed in reverse order. So Fleet C will sail. After they've finished, Heat B will be sailed, and after they've finished, Heat A will be sailed. So we're just going to follow a couple of boats in the C fleet at the moment, and we're going to follow 5-5 and 6-8. So now we're going to we're going to sail and compete Heat C, and they're all sailing and arguing with each other, and anyway they all finish, and the result is stacked up, and we don't really need to know who gets what, apart from the 2 boats we're following, 5-5 and 8-6 now. So they all line up. So these guys, they've got all the positions now, from position 31 to position 45, okay? That's their final finishing positions for the race. So what we do now is we take the top 4 and we say, oh, forget your positions. What you're going to do is you're going to be promoted to 4, not 5. You're going to be promoted to the B fleet, and you stay on the water and you're going to race the next race. The guys we've left behind, they've got all their results, they're finished for that race, they can go sit down. Okay, so on we go with the slightly larger B fleet now, and they'll have their race. Okay, as you can see, that guy we're following, 5-5, he's crept up into B fleet and he's going to race again. So there we go. And he's racing and he's doing quite well there. I see he's popped up the top, and anyway, they're all finished, and they're all finished, and 5-5 comes in 3rd. So he's done well. He's doing all right. He's 5-5. Okay. So all we do is we do exactly the same thing as we have done on the previous fleet, C fleet. We take off the top 4 and they'll get promoted into the A fleet, and the guys left behind, they get the results of that's their finishing result now, be from whatever it is, it's 19 to something or other. Okay, and the other guys, they go up into the next fleet, A fleet, and we can see 5-5. He's got to go on again. He's on his third heat for this race. He's doing all right. So, and then we race this race, and that's the A fleet. This is the last heat for the race, and these are now racing for the finishing positions. And 5-5's done well again. He's popped up, and yep, he's actually won it. So he's done well. He's come from the bottom of C fleet, and lo and behold, he's won the race, and that's it. So there we have the overall positions, running from top to bottom, 1 all the way to 45. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever, and all the way to 45. So that's that race finished. All the places have been allocated. All that remains to do is to even up the fleet, and the race. The way we do that is we take the bottom 4 from the A fleet and move them into the B fleet, like so, and we take the bottom 4 from the B fleet and they get demoted into C fleet, and there we are back at the original position that we were, with 3 fleets of 15 boats ready for the next race. And that is how HMS works. There is one issue that I haven't mentioned there, and that is that what I've shown you there happens from race 2 onwards. Race 1 is slightly different to all the other races, and in race 1 we perform a seeding race, and this is different from the other races. When the fleets are initially allocated, the race officer will ensure that there is a mix of ability within the fleet, so that each fleet will contain higher ranked sailors right down to lower ranked sailors. When race 1 takes place, it goes in reverse order, same as any other, so Fleet C will sail first, Fleet B and then Fleet A. The results are allocated a little bit differently, and each boat will get a result based on their position within that fleet. So there will be, on the scoreboard, when you look at the scores, there'll be 3 1s, there'll be 3 2s, there'll be 3 3s, and so on for this particular race. What happens now is that the top third of each fleet is split off, and that becomes A fleet. The bottom third is split off, and that becomes C fleet, and the middle third of the results from each fleet go together and they will become B fleet. And that is the initial ranking that we go into on race 2 with Fleet A, Fleet B and Fleet C. I hope that's given a simple explanation of the HMS system. It is quite complex, and if you like this video, please hit the like button, and if you want to see some more, click subscribe, and we'll maybe see you again.